Hello everybody, it's Stephen Paul from WinExtra bringing you your daily brief for May 9th, 2011. And a couple points before we actually get started on any headline stuff from Microsoft. For the last week we missed 3 shows. Two of them were basically because you were having real problems with Comcast and I didn't have anybody to, slide in on your place, which I've got to try and correct this week or so to get us, people who want to take part in the show if you can't make it. The third show, Friday, was a result of basically software, folks.
We actually recorded an entire show on Friday, but the end result was that even though all the gauges and levels and everything sounded perfectly fine to us, the finished product that came out had useless audio altogether. It just couldn't be put out there.
One of the problems with basically a 2-man operation trying to do a daily video show is
from one end of a continent.
Is the software we use, the technology that we use, and not being able to afford nice big operations like Leo Laporte and his $1 million studio. We're stuck with having to sort of cobble things together, and some days it just doesn't work no matter how much we want it to. And we're sorry about that. We try and do the best we possibly can, but trust us, if there is a day without a show, it's not for want of trying. We do try each and every day to bring you your daily brief, and when it doesn't make it, we feel like crap. We really do.
Definitely. I mean, I think the point of this is this. We've missed shows before, but we missed 3 shows on a trot here, and I don't know. I know that ultimately we're under no obligation to put a show out there even. We certainly don't get paid for this or anything, but we do know that there are those of you who do watch daily and, who listen daily, and
we love you. We really do.
Yeah, we feel bad about letting you guys down when we don't actually manage to get a show out for whatever reason, whether it's through illness or like last week through various technical difficulties. As always, we do our best to overcome these, and we learn something new every time something goes down, but ultimately there's only so much we can do, and we're 140. This will be show 140, even though we probably recorded like 155. But it's our goal to bring you one of these shows 5 days a week, if possible. Monday through Friday, every day. And I don't know. I think it's really just an issue of personal pride. We feel bad when they don't go out, when we record them when they can't go out.
It's like in some ways it's almost like we feel like we're letting you down.
Yeah.
In all honesty, that's what it is. It's like we feel like we've let our good solid listener base, which is growing slowly but surely, but we feel that we've let you down, and we apologize for that.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Anyway, over the weekend, this is again another personal note. Derek K. Miller passed away.
Yeah, he actually passed away on May 4th.
Yeah.
So we would have actually talked about this in a previous episode, but this is the first one that'll actually go out. And that tune that you hear when our intro and our outro music is actually by a guy called Derek K. Miller, and the track is called "Washing Off Like an Aardvark." And Derek has put out a lot of PodSafe music over the years. The track that he put out that we use is like from 2005 or something like that. And I've been following Derek's blog and Twitter account and everything for many, many years. And he was a great guy and a really, really talented musician. But on May 4th, he finally lost his battle to cancer and passed away of what's called stage 4 metastatic colorectal cancer. And he leaves behind his wife and his 2 daughters and a whole host of family and friends and people all over the internet that love him, and of course we do too. He provided our music, and
The post was. Did you? Obviously, you read the post.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
I would suggest that anybody watching this podcast go along to penmachine.com, which was Derek's blog, and there's a post up there. You can't leave a comment on it because they had to close the comments, obviously. But tweet it or like it or whatever. And it's a post that he had actually prepared and was organized so that when he died, the post would go up. And it's the final post on his blog, and it's very incredibly touching and heartfelt, and you just must go read it. And our thoughts and our wishes and our feelings and everything go out to Derek's family and close friends, and we just want to say thanks to Derek for everything he's put out there over the years and everything he's done. And of course we will continue to use his music here on the show as our team tune and intro and outro. So what more can we say?
Now on to the reason we're here. Microsoft news. New Mango features have been revealed. This came out last night, actually, through the Windows Phone Dev podcast. And Paul Thrott had up a post with the breakdown of the 5 plus screenshots. And they include 2 new Bing features, Bing Audio and Bing Video. Now, the Bing Audio is supposedly much like Shazam, where you can, you're playing a tune and you hit the Shazam button or you hit the Bing Audio button, and it will go out and find out what that music is and allow you to download it and buy it, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Bing Video, I guess what you said, it sounded very much like Google
Goggles.
Yeah.
I think it's called Google Goggles. I haven't actually read the post. I was going off what you explained to me pre-show, and you were telling me that you could scan things in and look at QR codes and take pictures of things, and it would head off. But that doesn't really sound like a video service to me.
I don't know. As well, there's going to be SMS dictation. Additional to that, it apparently will read back your messages to you. Your SMS.
Okay, now I'm getting you. Now I've got it. Sorry, just to interrupt you, because I opened up Paul Thrott's post while you were talking there. It's not Bing Video, it's Bing Vision. So it is. It's exactly like Google Goggles.
Yeah.
Basically, scan barcodes, QR tags, Microsoft tags, book CDs, take pictures of things, take pictures of text in a book, and of course, when you take the picture, it's all sent off, and it's sent back to you then with the information as to what you want, what it is. Okay, so it is Google Goggles,
on-device podcast support.
Okay, so this is just podcast subscription and RSS. This is nothing big.
Turn-by-turn navigation, which
again we're playing catch-up. But you know what? That's good. I mean, I use Google's turn-by-turn navigation all the time. Google Nav in my Android phone all the time.
Now, it came out this morning also. And additionally, the word is that Messenger is going to be built into the People's Hub.
I thought that was supposed to happen way sooner than Mango, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's what's being said this morning.
You know what? Messenger is the perfect type of app. It should be just right there in the people Hub.
Like Twitter.
Something vexes D. Hudson. You have a point to make?
No, not at all.
Like Twitter.
Gigome had a post up over the weekend. Last week there was a lot of talk about Skype and Facebook and Google being in talks. Well, Gigome had a post on the weekend where Om Malik suggests that, or has a rumor that Microsoft is in the running.
Look, everybody's supposedly in talks with Skype right now, whether it's Facebook, Google, or Microsoft. And also, everybody is discussing, are these partnerships, or is everybody suddenly looking to buy Skype? And I don't understand why on earth anybody would be looking to buy Skype right now. What I would see happening here is, look, folks, Skype is due to go public. Skype is due an IPO. But their IPO has been delayed until the second half of 2011 because they had a CEO change. Okay? Now, there's a lot of entrants into the VoIP market. You've got Google Talk and Google Voice, alright? Facebook has VoIP now.
What's it called? It's through with T-Mobile.
With T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Okay. Microsoft, of course, has VoIP. It's got its enterprise VoIP client, and it's got VoIP in your standard Windows Live Messenger and video chat. So everybody has a VoIP client, and there's more coming into the market as well. And the opportunity for Skype going public, it's kind of now or never.
Yeah.
As the value in the VoIP space is, what they're offering is very rapidly becoming decreased in terms of value by other entrants. So what I would see happening here is that Skype is courting all of these companies, and Skype is probably courting all of these companies looking for partnerships, and those partnerships would of course strengthen its value going into public offerings.
Yeah.
And that, I would say, is what's happening. And these rumors of Microsoft buying Skype, or Google buying Skype, or Facebook buying Skype, while there's a small possibility that one of them may be true, I would say not quite so much. I would say, this is all about strategic partnerships pre-public offering.
Yeah. We had a post up during the week about the possibility of the Xbox 720 being announced at E3.
What an inventive name.
Yeah, Fudzilla has a post up where they discount this. There will be no Xbox 720 at E3.
Do they have a source that said that?
They say they have a source, or analysts that they have spoken with.
Look, at the end, analysts, because they get it right all the time, right?
Yeah.
But look, in honesty, I wouldn't expect to see the 720 at E3, even if it's going to be called 720. I know everybody wants to see the new consoles now because, Nintendo have come out and they said, well, we're going to show off what our next console is going to be at E3. But, we're not due to see a 360, or not the 360, the 720 or PlayStation's next entry until 2014. According to both companies, I think this E3 might be a little bit premature for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something either. And it wouldn't be beyond Microsoft either to pull yet another rabbit out of the hat.
They've been doing that lately, haven't they?
But, in honesty, I'd go with Fudzilla on this, but... Yeah. I would much prefer if they had a source rather than just saying, a bunch of analysts.
Speaking of pulling rabbits
we get things wrong, too.
Yeah, speaking of pulling rabbits out of a hat, Windows Phone sales and shipments. A lot of discussion about that. Gigom has a post where they took a look at this, and research firm Canalys released global smartphone sales estimate in the first quarter of 2011, with conjecture that no more than 2.5 million handsets running on Windows on Microsoft's platform were shipped.
No, that's not exactly what Canalys came out and said. All right, but you posted in the Gigo article, right? So what Canalys came out and say, right?
Good. Correct this monstrosity of a crap load.
There's 2.5 million Windows Phone 7s were shipped last quarter. To customers. Now, normally when we say shipped, we mean, okay, they went from manufacturing to the warehouse, right? The AT&T has bought them, or whatever. No, these are 2.5 million that went into the hands of consumers. Now, you must remember that only a week previous, based on all sorts of shitty numbers from 2010 with any kind of agreement, some unknown person had come out and said that there was only like 670,000 of them that had shipped. And of course, every tech blogger, wannabe tech blogger, and pretends to be journalist out there kind of decided, let's remove any integrity that we have whatsoever and run with this headline from an unknown source. And then, of course, a real firm like Canalys comes out and puts these numbers out there. Now, 2.5 million in one quarter may not sound brilliant, but
this is a new.
This is all right, we don't need to go into all the reasons as to why, it's a new phone, it's a new operating system, blah, 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 bollocks, right? But Microsoft is in this for the long haul. Yeah. And even though Microsoft's mobile phone share market share is still dropping, it looks like Windows Phone 7 is actually reversing that trend. The share numbers are dropping, but not as much. But you must remember that where most of the drop is coming from is people who are leaving Windows Phone 6.5 behind and deciding, well, okay, what am I getting now? Am I getting a Windows Phone 7? Am I going Android? Am I going Google? And it looks like as we're getting rid of those people, the Windows Phone 7 is actually going up inside those numbers going down. So again, this is Microsoft again playing the long haul game.
Exactly.
And we'll just have to see how it goes. But 2.5 million is not anything to sneeze at either,
Yeah.
Okay, it's obviously, Apple eats that number for breakfast, and so does Android, but this is before Nokia starts shooting any of their phones out there.
Yeah.
Side note, we would have mentioned this during the week as well, but for those of you who are BlackBerry users, it looks like you're getting you will be getting another version of RIM of their operating system before they decide what they're finally going to do. And Microsoft Bing will be powering your search.
Exactly. Speaking of in for the long haul, Microsoft, I know you love this headline. It worked when I wrote it. Microsoft is working on creating the Star Trek Holodeck. This is out of a patent.
Where do you pull these headlines out of? Were you sitting there drinking and you got really wasted and you went, you know what? Dude, this is so like Star Trek, man.
I wish. But they've gotten a patent for what they are calling method and apparatus for providing a three-dimensional task gallery computer interface.
Look, we've shown videos of this, right? Okay? This is when they had like the surfaces and multiple connects in a room, all running together, and they were able to pass items virtually and put them up on screens and flick them from the surface to the TV, and so basically your room becomes 3D aware, and surfaces are aware of your interaction. This is going back to the whole distributed computing inside your home model, where your PCs in your attic and all your surfaces in your rooms are self-aware and stuff. It's actually got nothing to do with a holodeck in any way, shape, or form. And I know you only wrote that headline to get the retweets that you got.
I can pander. What good is the rest of them?
Obviously, they were going to get this. I mean, we've seen videos about this stuff for 2 years now. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I know.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But and obviously it's good for Microsoft. They've gotten the patents in this area, but let's see some implementation of it. Maybe it would be kind of cool. Although I'm not sure how people would feel in 2011 right now about having your home or your room completely aware of what you are, who you are, and what you're doing in order to buy what is covered in.
Don't really like ending up the show on a sort of downer note, but this actually was to be expected. I don't care what anybody says, but Attachmate is laying off Mono employees. Now, for people who don't know what Mono is, that is the Linux port of the Microsoft .NET framework.
Yeah, now this is kind of painful, really. Both for the open source Linux world and for Microsoft developers. Because what this allows you to do is basically, if you're a Microsoft developer, to code in .NET and have your app on Linux or on Android. And so this is kind of painful. It's going to It's going to make it more difficult for, .NET and Microsoft developers to put out open source projects that will work on Linux, or software that will work on Linux like that. It's going to make it more difficult for them to cross over to writing for those unless they, learn the languages that are more commonly used there. And again, it closes doors for Linux developers who want to write stuff in .NET that maybe can be ported to Microsoft Windows Phone 7.
Now, of course, this is now. The people being laid off are U.S. Members of the Mono project alone.
Yeah, now it's Attachmate that is doing the laying off. These are the guys who purchased, they acquired Novell's business for $2.2 billion and said they were going to reorganize it.
Well, they did.
But honestly, it just doesn't make sense to shut down this because it gives them it gives Linux an opportunity for interoperability on some levels that is
okay. Here's the question: wouldn't it? We gotta get this tied up quickly, but wouldn't it be a good idea for Microsoft to step in here?
How so?
Either create a spin-off company and get these guys back working, or pull them into a division underneath, Windows development, but bring these guys in, keep the Mono project alive. Now, granted, Mono did start out as a single-person project, but it grew really rapidly.
Yeah, it was Miguel de Icaza. Now, I think ultimately it's going to be up to him.
Yeah.
As to what he intends to do with it. Obviously, this is open source, but whether or not he wants to start a foundation or move on. But if somebody does decide to breathe life into this, it may be a good idea for Microsoft to get behind it. I've yet to see sort of the business reasons for Microsoft to do this besides doing it in-house. But
the PR.
If anything else, it could be just a goodwill move.
Yes.
Amongst developers.
Oh yeah, I think it would do a lot.
They will have to justify it from a business point of view too.
It would do a lot for their standing within the open source community if they picked it up. I think personally, anyway. So anyway, that's today's show's folks. Ooh.
Today's show's folk.
Yeah, I know.
It's multiple shows for one folk.
If you have any comments or thoughts about today's show or any of our past shows that you've managed to catch, you can leave us a comment or send us an email at podcast@winextra.com or drop us a comment anywhere where you find the show because we'll track them down. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 251-281-8730 and we will play them on the show. And on that note, that's Paul. I'm Steve. This has been WinExtra's Daily Brief for May the 9th, 2011. We'll see you tomorrow. The internet guys be willing.
Have a good one, folks.